The whole ball of wax at launchpreneuracademy.com is a $4,000 value that is yours for only $1,499. However, when you apply the code SPRINGRUSH at checkout, that's all one word, SPRINGRUSH, we're going to take another $300 off. That's $4,000 of resources for less than $1,200. The special discount ends April 3rd.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. This is your host, Brian Fullerton, here hanging with you guys, and we are poolside hanging with Caleb and Brittany Auman. We got Mr. Caleb Auman here directing traffic as we are rapidly approaching dinner time and just trying to get some things organized and our ducks in a row on this beautiful little vacation down in sunny Destin, Florida. That's where I'm at right now. And Mr. Caleb joining poolside. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. It's been a little bit, actually, I think.
We try to get your graced presence on our show at least once a year. And
you should be so lucky.
Well, somebody's got to give us those industry updates. And we appreciate your insight. As you guys would already imagine, the show is going to... I try to keep an organized, structured plan here, but when Caleb gets on the show, I like to keep it loose and fun and chill. And most of the other shows, Caleb, that we have, because I know you don't listen to our show, we just yell at everybody. And you got to get better. Stop stinking, Well, yeah. Myself included.
As I say that to myself. Yeah, no kidding.
We're all in this together, man. But getting to hang out with the kid contractor himself, we don't take it for granted. I've always been one to, at least I hope, or I believe, or I would like to always remind myself to stay humble and remind myself that you're not entitled or owed anything, including friendship and including somebody of your caliber being on our show. So thank you for joining us on today's show.
Thank you, Brian.
That's a serious comment. I'm serious. Well, holy crap, look at that plane, dude.
I was going to say, that is
what
loud.
The C-130 is going on around here.
I don't know, something with a lot of propellers on it.
What was that?
Just whenever. I don't know. It carries heavy stuff, I'm pretty sure. It looks like...
That was like 500 feet above us.
Yeah, that one button. I wouldn't say buzz the beach, but it was...
was
over it.
So where are we anyway? By the way, thank you and welcome to the show. I'm serious. I appreciate you being on.
And likewise, Brian.
100%
Absolutely.
respect what you guys got going on. I always say if Matrix one day you can I know Kung Fu and download other people's brains, I'd love to take everything contracting and your 20 years of expertise and just plug and chug that into my brain and be like, I know contracting. I know Kung Fu.
Well, and back at you, of course, Brian, with just how smart you are with conducting a podcast and all. Let's just blow a bunch of smoke up each other's tails here, while we're at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I looked at your board or your podcast board, and I was like, man, he's got all his sound in. Something I've meant to do for 2 years of podcasting. Thank you, my love.
Brittany Auman bringing
that's hot.
Black coffee.
Yes, like a man.
Thank you, Brittany
fresh
Auman.
or heated up? I don't care. It don't matter. I'll take it.
It'll be here on your chest either way.
But that's right. He's got the board labeled out here with all his intros and some. I'm like, man, I've wanted to do that forever and never have.
That's so circa 2020. When I
remember my first podcast.
I know. Well, that's you guys are listening to them right now. We used to plug these ads in here. This is the snow program. Right. And I used to hit these buttons. They had these cool hotkeys in some of these podcast mixers. But ever since Mr. Producer took over this thing, I've been babied for 2 years. And I am not a sharp individual. I can hit start, I can hit stop, and I can upload. It's kind of about where my expertise ends.
How long did you edit your own podcast for?
Good question. I started this thing. I dropped it March 1st of 2020. And then Paul came over, I think, in the July timeframe with his summer tour series thing. And there's a whole story there. Everybody's heard the story 100 times. But I was like, he's like, yeah, I get in between guests that he had at my house because I had 10 people come over to my house and we just did a little marathon thing just to get Paul a bunch of content. And in between shows, he was uploading his podcast to Mr. Producer. And I was like, dude, there's no Mr. Producer. That's a good shtick. Because, he was at the radio station and the takeout window, joke. And everybody's like, there's no producer there. And again, I was definitely a critic. I was like, Paul, dude, good shtick. I get it's radio. But, dude, you don't have to be like that on TV or on the podcast. Anyway, he's like, no, dude, I really am uploading him to Mr. Producer. I was like, if he's real, give me his number. I'll call Mr. Producer. I call him. He goes, hello, it's Marty. And I was like, and you guys have heard the story 100 times. But anyway, he does exist, and he obviously has quarterbacked Paul's show from darn near the beginning, and that's when I was just, you could do this. It's just another, 5, 10, 15 hours a week. I just could not commit to that production schedule.
Without a doubt. What were you editing on for that?
I was using GarageBand, adding ads that I forget to play, or sometimes you're gonna do like voice edits or something like that, or re-end a podcast because you're like, hey, thanks so much, guest, ABZ, for listening, and then your voice goes, because you finally hit that moment. My wife told me I'd hit that eventually one day, and
we're happy for you.
Things would change physically, and I think
they call it a bar mitzvah. In some cultures.
So I was excited about that moment. Right. So it was one of those things where I did it for 4 or 5 months, and it was fine. And it's like one of those things like. I heard, I don't know if it's Robert Kiyosaki or Tom Reel, right, say like the 3 most expensive words in the English language are do it yourself. And so I could do it, and I could do it on my own, but was it the production quality and the value added content and show that you guys, like an enjoyable listening experience that you guys have today? I hope. No, it was not. No, it was a hodgepodge of just run and dump,
So I got a million things that I'm doing right now that are the do-it-yourself thing that I'm trying to farm out. What do you needing to farm out right now that you're doing in-house that you shouldn't?
Yeah,
lawn care business or social-wise.
Well, here I'll zoom out really quick on that thought because I've learned like through the last 5 or 6 years, just like you guys, I'm a student of success and trying to figure that, how to be in 8 places at once, how to do 10 things at once. Right. And I heard a guy say, this changed my life like 5, 6 years ago. It was a book and a title and a conversation. His name was Darren Hardy. And he did this talk about 6 productivity hacks to superachievers. I think I told you about this talk. I saw it on YouTube, and I was like, freaking amazing talk. I saw a bootleg version, and anyway, one of the points was you got to be a quitter, and that meant like outsource things. So 6 years ago, I realized I needed to start quitting things, right? Like replace yourself, build teams, build systems, blah blah blah. We all are. That seems to be like the common conversation these days. Anyway, I just realized like I had to start getting rid of things, and the production of the podcast was one. Many other things. We still added our own YouTube videos and all that mess, but just because I don't feel like people can keep up or quick turnaround time and all that mess. But right now, something that we are doing with Entrepreneur Academy is sending out 3 weekly newsletters, which I'm really excited about. Encouraging people, not pitch fests or anything like that. There's quite a few people part of our mailing list, and if you guys have ever bought anything from Entrepreneur Academy, number one, thanks. For real, that supports a small business that keeps Liz be a stay-at-home mom and takes care of Emmy and the fam and an extra income for us. And that's the contracts, the resources, all that jazz that you guys have. You guys have like the Hardscape Academy, for example, similar paths. But we hired a lady. She's been on-ramping for the last month or so now, and she's been great. Her name's Bethany, and solely one of the first responsibilities I was, hey, I want to send out encouraging newsletters to people every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Not like, hey, here's new things or to sell. It's nothing like that. It's like, hey, there's Monday motivation. I think like Wednesday wisdom, and then like that's kind of like our joke is like what we're calling these newsletters. And then Friday is just a weekly recap of all the content we put out through all of our platforms and highlighting other people's podcasts and industry events and being just a good resource for the industry on Friday for kind of like your weekly, kind of what's happening in case you missed it.
What and this is something I've been wanting to have with you in just private conversation, but I'll ask you here too. Like in the lawn care end of things. Well, you're in snow season too, by the way. How's snow season looking for you? Or what's the latest you've plowed before up there? Or you know what I mean? Like what's the latest snow management?
I remember like April 4th, 2 years ago, Greg Woodstock came to LAL. A couple months later, he's like, hey, you want to do the build a pandemonium stuff, in a sandbox at Aquascape? And I was like, yeah, dude, I got to catch up with you in April. I was like, that way, like I know it's not snowing and all this stuff, right? April 4th or April 3rd, up North Michigan, about an hour north of me, we missed it by a hair. They got like 11 inches of snow in April. So the latest I've probably ever plowed snow, mid-March, we get some good 4 or 5 inch slush storms. That's that wet concrete snow.
Yeah, that stuff's terrible.
That's of course, break all your snow equipment right before you put it all away. Nothing like having repair bills for
take all the life out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, then all your extra revenue or profit potentially, right, to then go reinvest into postcard marketing or lawn care flyers or signs and all that mess for spring. So, but yeah, we plowed snow into February, March, no doubt about it. Right now, it's pretty quiet back at home. The 10 days been pretty chill. It's been actually a below average winter in terms of accumulation, but I'm actually really proud to say, like, based on proper contract structuring and good clients and just a hybrid system, our revenue is up significantly. I mean, like
That's cool.
Like literally 50 to 100%.
What's something you've learned in well, since we're talking snow, what did you think snow plowing was like versus what it turned out to be when you started getting into snow?
Dude, I saw shiny equipment, tons of fun, big trucks, and then the guys that seemed to do it were just killing the game. I thought just money central, and it could be, and it can be, and it's starting to be. But what I will tell you, that is a full-time lifestyle commitment. Like it is a no joke commitment to do snow, between being on call for salt runs, being on call for plow runs, for having good quality equipment, or somebody mechanically inclined enough to get you back on the road, right? Because like things break.
Yeah.
It's wild, and it's honestly really stressful. It's pins and needles, man. It's admittedly, it's like you get 6 inches of snow that comes through, and it's got to be cleaned up in 24 hours, or people get very pissed.
Your awesome new plow truck, your second 2 plow trucks running now because you're so big time. What that thing went down with it's a brand new truck, went down with a coil pack or some issue.
Yeah.
What takeaways were there from that what were the takeaways from that situation, I guess, if there were any?
Well, I'm always a buy new with a warranty kind of guy. Now, that being said, if you're mechanically inclined, you want to buy something new, like gently used, or even some old jalopy mower truck, whatever, and you can fix it, fantastic. I don't have that skill set. I like guys like Alex Nickens. You know Alex Nickens?
Oh, yeah. Dude's awesome.
Dude, he's
tearing apart buses and turning them into dump trucks, and they look good, too.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Insane.
Like, dude, Alex should needs to do like training courses. And,
he really should.
A YouTube channel, like just building stuff. Like, it's wild. I do not have that skill set. I definitely envy that. I'm definitely low key jelly on that. If I knew how to do that, I would have a different conversation with used equipment. But there's just no way that I can entertain that thought, because I just don't know how to fix stuff. But yeah, the new truck, it broke down. Like, new things break too. And by the way, like Liz and I
by the way, being able to fix that stuff and then do what Nickens is doing, for example.
Yeah.
Part of that is just loving and liking doing this stuff.
Oh.
And the other part, I can do all this stuff. I don't want to. I don't have the time.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it enough to make it make sense in time. Like,
sure.
So there's like 3 facets of that. Like,
no.
You have the skill, or you have the skill and you don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
And Alex, I think, he's got all 3 of these. He's got the time, or can take the time.
Well, and then sometimes you need the shop to do this.
Yeah, that's true.
Practically speaking, dude, I have changed snowblower paddles, belts, pulleys, cables, the little turret that's, the discharge chute. Dude, everything in between. Wrenched on trucks, all this stuff at 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. 0 degrees out, 10 degrees out, dude. Like, the snow power, I took it off the truck, dropped it off at the house. I got the plowing, early September. I didn't have to put it on, obviously, till, late November. We're getting our first snow forecast. And had that week of actually bought a pallet of ice melt from Troy Clog, his Hot Pink. Go home, go to hook up the plow at midnight for the snow that's starting at 4 a.m. to go plow snow at noon. And because the truck had an extra 2,000 pounds on the back, now my truck's lifted up like a monster truck in the front, right? So the back is sitting down with ballast, and now the snow, dude, like a worst case scenario, right? I'm like, no, and this plow weighs 1,250 pounds. And do I have a car automotive jack? I sure do. In my red truck that Rob has, 40 minutes away, 30, an hour there back. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm like using the little, dude, the stupidest stuff. It's 10 degrees out. It's snowing. It's starting to snowflake, and just wrenching this thing up to get the eyelets to connect so I can put the pins in for the snow power to connect. Just a little stupid, dumb stuff. And, but wrenching outside again in the morning. I think that's exactly when I decided, because we're hoping to break ground on a pole barn this fall. I told Liz, I texted her, 1 in the morning. I said, I'm doing heated floors, heated everything. And money became no option, right? I was like, never. Like, dude, I've been under the Home Depot pavilions, Caleb, at 2:30 in the morning because I don't have a bay.
Yeah.
And
I've been there for 20 years. Dude. The same, man. I just changed oil for the first time in the wintertime in my chop. Like, well, I say that I was in the fall here, but like, that's the first time I've not had to be on my back in the gravel, in the rain.
Dude.
Like, dude, I'm with you, dude. It's
I don't know if you shared that on a podcast or a story, but I know I caught it. And you don't have any idea, like, the dream that built, as simple as it is, as funny as it is, as dorky as it is, as whatever it is you want it is it built the dream. I was like, dude, I can only imagine pulling my truck in, getting out, being on concrete, whether it's heated
so
or not.
real.
Yeah, dude. Like, and if something drips, at least it doesn't like splash in your face because it's on rocks or sand or on snow.
Well, the second irony of that was I didn't want to change oil on my brand new concrete in the shop because I didn't want to get it oily.
Oh my god!
In case I did spill.
Oh my god!
So we're kind of you've run into this funny conundrum. I almost changed it outside just because of that. And I'm like, no, what the heck?
Dude,
what the heck am I
that
doing?
is actually
That's
funny.
insane.
You got the kitty litter down, all that mess or whatever. They got to scoop it all up. I so envy like the ability to have a shop like that. And we're not a finished product. You guys listening in know that. I mean, if you guys have been listening for any length of time, I mean, if you guys are new here, dude, it's all about lawns, lessons, life. And I've been saying in 2023, it's real authentic lawn care. Like that's the message. And yes, we're helping you guys grow a successful business and doing the best that we can to leave those breadcrumbs. But I'm still learning too. I'm still in the pursuit. And that's what I love listening to guys like you, Caleb, that are, a handful of years further ahead and different shop and everybody's got their different things that they're working towards. And I don't know.
Well, Troy Clark's not going to say he's arrived either, though.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, you never once you think you've got it figured out, man. That is a road to ruin. I think, anyways.
Yep. Well, let's do this really quick. Let's take a quick commercial break. I want to get a quick sip of water. You're getting flagged here, and let's do this really quick. We're going to hear from Marty, Mr. Producer, down in the ATL, and then we're going to come right on back.
Unlock your business potential with the Know Your Numbers profitability and pricing calculator from the Lawntrepreneur Academy. Discover the secrets to a predictably profitable business. Learn how to recover overhead, calculate your man-hour rate, price lawns correctly, and budget for profit margins. Maximize your success with the best information and tools. Get the Know Your Numbers profitability and pricing calculator today at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com.
We are back from hearing the Marty, Mr. Producer, taking over the show. And there you go. That's the great reason that we have him running the show, because when I used to do that, I didn't even know how to hit mute on this thing. You know what I'm saying? And so the ad placement was wild. Dude, it was wild. It's such a, but we're trying. We're doing our best. We're trying to catch up to Joe here. Joe Rogan. So
Jeremiah,
I'm coming
Jennings
for him.
literally showed me 2 weeks ago how the mute button actually works versus how I thought it worked.
Yeah, I heard that show.
Oh gosh.
Well, it was cool. I was learning too because I got the same mixer.
Yeah.
So
well, I
was at home fiddling with it. I'm like, okay, so you hit this button and not that button. But again, what do I know?
I thought it was a false mute, but it actually. So all those years I've been doing it. Then I thought, oh my gosh, I've been coughing in everybody's ears all these years, and it did actually. Yeah, anyways, whatever. Well, I am not the person for technology. See, you may not be mechanically inclined, Brian. Whatever, technologically inclination for just throw me in the pool, man. Forget about it.
These
I
kids,
am hopeless.
These
dude.
kids are running laps around us, man. I call them kids. They're 25, 21. They're teaching me wild, crazy things. I mean, it's. By the way, you're assuming a lot too that people are actually listening to our shows. I mean, that's
fair.
Let alone the mute button option. We were joking earlier, like, hey, what are your total downloads? This month. I'm like, I think 12, like 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, 12. You know what I mean? But somehow Chartable keeps putting us in the top 200. I think people enjoy just the whatever this show is, the train wreck. I think you dubbed it for the kid contractor.
That's what I always call. Yeah, for my show, you run a professional.
Hey, we're Forrest Gumping our way to the finish line, man. We're trying to figure this thing out. But hey, really quick, we were having a debate earlier about wealth versus rich.
Oh God, we really gotta go down this road?
No. I don't know if you want to do this now or later.
No, not really.
No,
it's exhausting. No, go ahead. What's up?
No. We that's the cool thing about getting around like other people that are learning and growing and physically, financially, mentally. Like we were having a debate. What was it, yesterday morning, like 7:30 in the morning over breakfast?
I don't know which one.
Oh, what other ones have we had? It's like, are you debating? Are you having conversation?
Well, which group? There's been 3 different debates now on wealth versus rich.
There was me and you, then there was me, you, and I think Brittany at night, and then I think Liz, and then Brittany and Liz tapped out and they went to bed. And then then we played Uno.
Yeah. Then Jennings and us last night again.
Then Savannah hopped in this morning. So I think we've rehashed this 5 times.
Literally 5 times. Yeah.
All right, so here's my proposition.
And I don't think any ground has been gained in any.
Brittany's over there shaking her head.
Iteration of it.
Are you sure you don't want to be on this show, Brittany? This is a great time to. No. The ladies. I said, Brittany, what's your thoughts? She goes, I think I'm going to bed. And so she just left this conversation.
She's like, I just don't want my card declined at the store anymore.
Oh, we were debating. Yeah, no crap. Right? We were debating the conversation of being wealthy versus rich, and like the difference of that whole thought. And but basically, we were just talking numbers, talking money, making money, and how things are working honestly out there. But at the end of the day, it was like a challenging of thought process, and I was like, when do you get around? Jordan Peterson said, because we actually went there about a week ago. You had took us up to the Detroit Fox Theater to see Jordan Peterson, and he was saying how you make friends and or what you should look for in friends. And he said people that when you share good news with them, they don't just immediately jump on you and say, "Oh, I have good news too." You know, like they're good listeners. And I think, not to put words in Jordan's mouth, but I think finding people that challenge you and make you want to be a better person are good. And that means challenging of thought process and beliefs and all that mess too. So I don't know. I thought it was just fun conversation, just messing with you and ruffling feathers and seeing what your thoughts were. But I said I don't have any gotcha moments. I don't do gotcha moments with people. So.
Well, it was fun. I mean, and that's why I like talking to you, because you do bring things to light that obviously I'm not thinking about or whatever. And you were saying that time is an element of wealth, to which we went down a whole bunch of other rabbit holes of like health is wealth, and and then Jeremiah throws in, well, homeless guy is super wealthy because he has a lot of time, and it's one of those things like. And I still haven't finished or articulated. That's the bigger problem. I haven't articulated my thoughts on the whole wealth thing, or it really ran away before we got really into it. But
do you want to propose the question to the people, or another debate for another time? So
just what defining what wealth is, true wealth or whatever. And to me, what wealth is liquidity and assets, and so in other words, like having cash and having property that is owned outright, or or very liquid, or you have a lot of equity in at least.
Sure.
And that is wealth to me. Now, Brian doesn't spin, but Brian's proposition is
spin is probably what Brian does.
Well, spin is unfair. Yeah, spin is unfair.
Brian would like to sell this to you.
That makes it sound too biased.
You're already buying us, changing the people's mind, Caleb.
So, but the other end of that is too. It's like that's what I think wealth is, and you go down a different formula or formulaic version of it. But on my end of it, because this is going to lack context for the listeners, end of it is like, that doesn't mean like income generation goes away either. It just means you have, rich to me is income and having a lot of income. If you don't have liquid cash, in the bank, and you don't have, or assets like you own your home outright, or you own vehicles outright, properties, whatever. More F-35s ripping by, which I think that's what those all are, aren't they?
$300 million of American freedom. There's two actually right there. They're like 50 feet off each other's wing right there.
Yeah, isn't that when they fly in formation? Like, isn't that cool?
It's probably 500 feet, but from here it looks like 12 feet from each other.
Yeah, right,
Which is crazy.
Have you seen the Blue Angels fly in person?
It's funny you should bring that up, because I was talking to Liz about that yesterday. I said, the last time I seen anything like that, I think my dad took me to an air show, and I was probably a little 10-year-old kid, and I remember jumping in a helicopter, like one of those like Vietnam whatever, the
heck yeah, Huey,
the Huey, right? Is that what it is? Like,
yeah,
dude,
that's one of them.
The most traditional looking one you can imagine.
Huey.
And I was like, dude, when's the last time we went to like an all-American like air show? And she goes, I've never been to one anything like same thing. She probably was 10 years old as well. I'm like, this has me so appreciating America. Like every single minute those things fly by.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
I'm like $250 million or whatever, jets flying up and down. There's a base like 2 minutes up the road here, 10 seconds for these guys flying. And,
well, I was gonna say, maybe a 2-minute commute for them, maybe.
But no, the whole debate was, I don't even know how we got on it, but you had said something, or I said something about, I just want to be rich, Brian, or something like that, or somebody had said something about. Do you even know? Well,
I don't know where it came from, but ultimately it was like, they came down to like, I want to be wealthy, not rich. So rich to me is just a lot of income, but you don't have any of it banked up in any manner at all, like at all. It's just in and out, and that's rich to me. Wealth to me is actually physical assets. Like I want to be rich and wealthy by that standard.
Okay,
but
I was challenging what the definition of wealth was.
Yeah, and that's where we got hung up. Like. And I say Bo and I have arguments like this on site all the time of like, he and I are saying the same daggone thing the whole time.
The same thing like a synonym.
But yeah, like, and we come around to where it's like, well, I guess we're saying the same thing. So just, Bo, you do whatever you need to do.
So I told Caleb, I said, I think we're saying 70% of the same thing here.
Yeah, right.
But I said, I go, this is a Jordan Peterson. He goes, semantics matter. And I was like, he's like, well, don't you know? And I'm like, listen, dude, I'm not Jordan Peterson. I'm not here to get you on a gotcha.
Canadian accent and everything as soon as I start going down the road.
That's what we do. And but I had said, what's your definition of rich, and then what's your definition of wealth? And I said, you had said what you just said about is rich, and that's what you also connotated wealth. And I said, well, to me, wealth was measured in time, and so that was like the whole juxtapositioning, And I had said, to me, wealth was, as I've come to learn and find it. And by the way, folks, not a guru here. I'm learning too. I'm reading every single book.
Good thing you're not a guru, because the Not Our Finest Hour guys will call you out hardcore, Mr. Guru.
Dude, I haven't had a chance to listen to their show yet.
They're doing this anti-guru thing. It's so funny.
Is that right?
I don't listen to that show, but
if you did,
if I did listen to it, I think that's what they're talking about these days.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I love is Mike, right, with Paper King? Yeah, he was on our show 2 years ago.
Yeah,
one of the best shows we've ever done.
He's a total fraud. He claims to be no value. He is a total fraud. He is full of value.
Dude, he dropped nothing but nuggets for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we talked about fatherly presence, fatherhood, leadership. Dude, it was the most like.
And I say the fraud thing jokingly, by the way.
Yeah, like it was like, yeah, well, he was the guru. I should replay his old clips, you know? Like
I've been okay, so I'll need to do this today, because I've been meaning to call him out as like an Instagram reel thing of like, I don't want to stir up controversy, but I'm here to call out Paver King as the fraud that he is.
Oh, yeah.
He claims no value, but I've got proof that he is full of value.
Dude.
And reference one of our podcasts with him from the past, but he's a smart guy. He's been in the game a while, man. He's been in it a long time. He's one of the oldest. Oh boy, take that with respect, Mike.
He's dirt.
He's been in the game of all the people on social media. That's actually he's been on there as.
Oh, on social? Really?
Yeah. Let me roll it backwards.
Contracting.
He's been on social a long time, and he's probably one of the most experienced mainstream social media guys. Let me give it that way.
Okay, cool.
There's others like
I already found him because of you, and I think actually because did you guys do a tour with him, or did he do like a podcast?
We did when we were doing a
tour series,
the webinar series. We did a thing with him. It was really good. The guy's smart.
Yeah. Let's not give him too much credit here.
I know that's fair. That's right too. It's too bad, because the guy really has a lot to share, but they have more fun not sharing value.
Yeah. I need to listen.
I don't know. They're out of control. It is a podcast. It's not for everyone. I will tell you that. They give me a hard time about uttering that word now, that phrase.
What's that?
Anyways,
what phrase?
I just said it's not for the podcast is not for everyone. That's the way. And they ran with that, man.
My gosh. Everything you can and say will be used against you in some way, shape, or form on social media. And this is before you ever run for political office, by the way.
Yeah.
My own show will cancel me. Okay, like I get it, and that's. It would be a very up road hill to climb if I run for any political office anytime in the future. But no, to go back to full circle. Well, that's why I said I'm not a guru in any of this stuff. I'm just trying to learn how to make money for my family, take care. Dude, I don't have a blueprint. Nobody told me anything. Nobody taught me anything. I didn't have anybody to learn from. Family's a millionaire or anything like that. But we were debating semantics on wealth versus rich, and I had said wealth is measured in time. And then Jeremiah Jennings with the Growing Green podcast. You ever heard of him?
No, I'm sure he's a nice fellow.
He's got a nice startup show down in Alabama, I think, or Alaska. I don't know. And he was doing great, just debating semantics about that, because he had said, well, if I'm homeless, aren't I infinitely wealthy? Because I have unlimited time, because I have, no income, but I have no expenses.
This guy sounds deep.
And so talk about not a guru. This guy was all guru.
The Roll Tide guru.
That's all he was talking about. Actually, if you guys can imagine, he was poolside here, and he's trying to catch us on the gram over here. But anyway, it was funny. So that's the fun stuff. We get around the dinner table, the dining table. We're just talking. How are you making money? What are you doing with your businesses?
I don't know who this guy thinks
How are things going?
He thinks he's going to join a podcast.
Did you have that in your pocket? What do you just come to a pool party? He's plugging into the mixer.
This is random strangers just plugging in like he owns the place.
So really quick, I don't want it to get to his head, but he's allowed to be on the show, I guess. Here, so
I guess.
You pretty much, as he spills the drink, never spill the drink. Oh well. You got to put the mic in front.
I remember my first time too. Don't worry about it.
Contractor podcast.
Kid podcaster.
You talk crap because you know how.
As soon as he walks in the door, it got really quiet. You know what I mean? He's like, "What did you say?" Was that lady from South Park?
Oh yeah. Who's it?
What did you say? What's going on over here? That's
Well, so with that time, what does that time?
Yeah.
What is that? So if you're wealthy with that time or whatever, what's that even mean? Like, what do you do with the time?
So this show is definitely going to go an hour now, but we need to cut it out about 5 more minutes here, because the girls are going to be cooking dinner and we got to get moving. We were debating wealth versus rich, and you were part of the conversation 3 times.
Yeah,
so
was it only 3?
Yeah, well, there's 5.
Actually, it was 5.
We counted it 5. And long story short, we were talking about wealth versus rich, and rich is measured in net worth, of course, which is great.
See, that's where I don't agree with that. Rich is not net worth to me.
We should do a poll. I should do a poll on this once this drops. You know what I mean? To be like, no right or wrong answer, but just to see where the people's opinion are. So I was, you were arguing net worth and wealthy is net worth in liquid.
I saw your audience's response to 4x2, 2x4.
We have a different audience, bro.
That was scary.
That's why people are like, hey, I'm like, hey, can I run ads on your show? And people are like, no, everybody knows who you are. I go, not really. I mean, you take it for granted that everybody's got big follower counts, quote unquote. And but 80% of my audience has no idea who somebody else is, and vice versa. And that's why I always love just networking. But I had said wealth was measured in time. You had said wealth was measured in like cash flow and in liquid and net worth.
Yeah, net worth and liquidity is, to me, wealth.
Sure, but I had said definitionally I think wealth was measured in time, because if you got $100,000 and your expenses are $10,000 a month, then you only have 10 months of time freedom, financial independence, right? Because then you're broke. And I had said if you have, whether you have $0 in the bank, $1 million in the bank, $20 million in the bank, I said, but if your bills were 10, your cash flow was cash flowing you 10, I said you're infinitely rich, no matter your net worth. Now, obviously, you want to have $5 million in the bank being net worth rich with cash flow that covers your expenses, and that keeps you financially independent.
Right. That's the
challenge that you couldn't.
I never articulated fully. Well, things got so out of control in each of the discussions.
On all 5 discussions.
I never, fully got in there. Yeah, I mean, the idea is you still keep the income coming, but
Sure.
you have the wealth as the backup, right? That's the idea. You have the wealth as like an opportunity to grow, more wealth again, right? Like, whatever.
I think net worth and rich is what you're describing. I think wealth is a totally different noun, totally different word, totally different mentality. And that's where we were debating. Secondly, was like middle class thought process versus wealthy thought process. Again, definitely not wealthy. I don't know if I think I.
What about lower class? Like
I was just saying, we're like lower class.
I am upper lower class. Thank you.
Enough to run a house, but like, also not enough where they will kick me out. One of those deals. But that's where I had debated. I said, wealth, I think it's a different mentality. And then Jeremiah, of course, in his infinite wisdom goes, what do you think is, what do you say, broke or poverty or something like that? Somebody said, what's poor? What do you think? Oh, somebody said, what's the difference between broke and poor?
Yeah, poor and broke. That was Brittany.
And I said, broke is a mentality. I said, poor is like a net worth thing, like an income thing or a net worth thing. So these are like the debates that we have poolside, just hanging out with friends, just because people are like, oh, you're like trying to like scheme to like sell courses and create, make money. And it's like, well, I mean, I guess like, just like you guys are talking shop, talking mowers, talking anything, we're all trying to grow and exchange best ideas. That's what you should do, like Jordan Peterson says, with your friends. And you guys are all listening to our friends. But like at the end of the day, I want to challenge myself to get better. I'm going to challenge my friends to get better. If my friends say something, and I said, Caleb, can I make a suggestion to you? I didn't say, Caleb, you're wrong. I said, hey, would you be open to having a conversation about that? Because I think that's a mature way to approach. If you ever want to win friends and influence people, you never start with, hey, I think you're wrong, let me challenge that. It's, hey, man, if I saw something that, you were making a mistake on my belief, could I make a suggestion to you that maybe would like help you out? And you were like, yeah, dude, sure. And of course, Caleb would be like, yeah, you idiot, what do you want? But I respect
I resort to name calling when I run out of anything else.
Yeah, right. But I also respect people enough to be like, hey, dude, can I help you with that? Would you be open to a suggestion? Not that I have it right, but I'm like, hey, I want to hear your side of that. Like, press in. Like, I want to learn more. I'm not just going to sit anywhere with anybody that I respect and just like let that go. I mean, it's an opportunity to learn from some of the sharpest people that I get access to. Yeah. I don't know where Jeremiah comes in on that, but here he is.
What did you talk about for the first 28 minutes?
Actually, we're talking about
rich versus wealth versus.
Oh, so y'all have been on this topic?
No. After the commercial
but we're
break.
about to for the next 28 minutes.
No, we got to get another show in here because you guys need to podcast for Friday for your show. So maybe we'll continue this conversation on your podcast. Or
I mean, I'm afraid it's going to go down that route again. So.
I'll do an Instagram poll, and you guys can tell me what do you think, or a question thing, whatever way I can figure this out on Instagram, because I love hearing your guys' thought, listening in. Like, to me, net worth and rich is one conversation, wealthy is a different conversation. And again, we're saying 70% of the same thing here, but I've come to find that wealth it's measured in time. And of course, if you can grow your income, you can grow your net worth, as long as you also have cash flow to pay for your bills, then to me, you're, of course, higher net worth individual, but you're still financially independent, just, I guess, even more financially independent. So that was my final thought. You guys take it wherever you want. I don't know. I don't have any points or gotchas.
Folks, for every poll Brian ever puts out again, just answer it 2x4, and we'll know that you're a listener of the show.
I literally was writing the book out. I'm hoping to have the book out by mid-March, and I literally wrote when buying your first truck, there's a whole chapter of like, what to look for in a truck. And I'm writing out, and you need to make sure that you have a 4x2 truck out. And I was like, Caleb would be so proud. I want to do like a little like editor note, like you got to like give credit, like back in your high school papers,
How did you ever call it a 4x2? It's a 2x4.
Oh my God! Are you a 2x4 guy?
I forgot you're in this camp.
Oh my God! I've got ammo. Oh my God!
I forgot you're in this camp.
I got ammo for my arsenal. Well, it's a 2x4. It's everybody.
It's a 2x4 and a 4x4.
That's so wild that you guys say 4x2. I looked it up. Google says 4x2 but
you're so all
Google
so
says
wrong.
4x2.
Google said 4x2, but I've never heard anyone
Probably
say
Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Caleb
he probably edited it.
Don't make me call
This is the hashtag No Value Podcast.
a man to settle this.
Man.
I'll call AJ Brentzel and this will be done.
And
right
he will
now.
say 2x4.
Oh my God!
I can tell you what
You
he
won't
won't say.
Bluetooth it.
Do it. You won't do it.
I ain't scared.
Hook up the Bluetooth and do it.
I'll do it on Kid Contract. I won't drag Brian's show like that down like it. I'll do it on here too. I don't care.
He'd be like, "Hey, what's up, man? I'm rounding up all my skid steers. I lost one the other day in the ditch on a job from 3 years ago." It's like misplacing 18 pieces of equipment. It's
in
like,
the middle of this pipeline.
How do you even do that? Like $10 million company. We need to get AJ to speak in LAL or something.
He'd be
The Dancing Dirt Man, dude.
yeah, dancing dirt man.
He's
AJ.
wild. If you guys don't follow him on Instagram, Caleb turned us on to him a while ago. He's in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Philip.
Brex Enterprises.
Yeah.
Cool folks.
Yeah.
But they do big boy jobs.
Yep.
Like man, they do some cool stuff.
That's wild. All right,
But they have I don't want to mention brands, but off-road mowers and all sorts of and then do
Okay.
pipeline restoration. I mean, they do all
Yeah.
sorts of cool stuff. I mean, they're in lawn care in a different way, right?
Yeah.
Away mowing. So
Yeah.
they do cool stuff. Anyways.
Yeah, you can't say kind unless I kind of check. I know that on your show.
Yeah, no.
My show, nobody pays
Tilt
me for
rotator.
anything.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, final thoughts, and then we'll run it up. What's your thoughts? Anything you want to leave the people? This value-added podcast for the day.
What I would leave with today is definitely always be growing your circles, right, and be networking with good folks, and then also pick up a truck manual and learn that it is 4x2, and then also know that wealth is assets and liquidity.
Okay, Jeremiah. Anything else you got left?
I mean, I missed the. Oh, what's up?
Hey, little baby Emmy. Hi.
Net worth, by the way,
my God.
assets with equity in them.
Yeah.
I mean, I missed the whole first part of the show. I just wanted to come on.
You
here
really
at the
didn't
end,
miss
too.
much.
Defend my honor.
Yeah, that's right. I heard you talking crap as soon as I walked in, so I was like, "How far have they been dragging me through the mud?" But anyway,
You guys have to listen.
Listen to find
that's
out.
How I get,
That's right.
that's how I get one listen. You know what I'm saying?
It's one of those 12.
Oh no.
that sounds like good stuff. Grow your network. Networking is huge. Go to events.
Yeah.
And the net worth versus the rich thing, the wealthy versus rich. I think it's subjective too. I mean, everybody's gonna have a different opinion on it.
Sure. As you should.
You could spend literally 2 more hours going into it.
Yeah.
We might do that on another show.
That would be fun.
Because we can bring up the comparison of the guy who runs the maintenance business or whatever business, and they make a certain amount, but they spend that amount.
Right.
But they have guys that work for them, but their time is free, but they don't make money. So are they broke and wealthy?
Right.
Like there's an endless road there.
Which is kind of how most of our debates go anyway. It's like everybody throw up on each other, listen,
They
throw,
get circular.
throw up, and then at the end of the day, it's like, hopefully you leave not dumber than when you started. You know? Could you imagine? I remember last time what I'll say is when we went to Jordan Peterson, that you graced us with some tickets there. That was a cool opportunity, cool event in Detroit last week. Jordan was talking about I was hanging out with Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring, the CEO of Daily Wire Plus, and dude, 4 or 5 other people who I didn't know anything who they were. And these people are just titans of politics and what do they call it? They're
Intellect. It's like a brain trust.
Yeah, the thought leaders, like the Jordan Peterson types and Ben Shapiro. And dude, he's just name dropping 6, 7 people that I don't even know who they are, but obviously they're the who's who. But they're just talking about this mastermind of thought. I'm just could you imagine being the 7th dude in that circle? And I'm just sitting around man, right now I feel really uncomfortable. I'm yeah, what Ben said,
What he said.
Yeah. I don't know about that, And it'd be dude, you would just get destroyed.
I would never open my mouth.
I would never. I would literally be a 100% listening person, But anyway, I just thought hey, I don't have access to them, but I've got access to my hardscape friends, my lawn care buddies, and that's what I got access to. I got you guys, and I think we're all doing pretty well, and we're all figuring this thing out along the way. And of course, if you get a chance to plug into somebody else like a Jordan Peterson or whoever's your guy, your guru, then go listen in. Mike from Hardscape or Paper King. You know, he could be your guru.
Well, I'll throw this pitch in for you. But I mean, that's why like LAL is such an insane. And this is serious. I'm not just blowing smoke.
Like, gosh,
I don't like Brian enough to
plug it to plug it.
But it's but I mean that is an insane. What is it? $200 these days? I don't know.
It was $249 with everybody jacked up their freaking rates, right? We did, they did, everybody did. So I was like, my food bill is $25,000.
Yeah,
it's insane, dude.
But like you talk about a place to build network and to get around people you might not. Again, all the speakers there, like last year, for example, Troy Claus and Mark Bradley's. And good grief, all the other, like the room. What did we say? It was like $50 or $100 million.
$150 million.
At least. And it was
public numbers that we all could figure.
And it's like you've got those guys. You can literally go up and talk to them at about any point of the day for $250, and they don't. You know what I mean? Like it's such an insane value. Yeah. It's nuts.
They're so forward, like their net worth is so high, their time is so valuable. They don't even offer coaching calls.
Yeah,
like you can't even get on a call with them.
Right?
That there's no chance.
Yeah.
The thing that, and I'm grateful and thankful that everybody that came in. Blah 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 blah. Of course, it was an awesome time, and it'll be again in November. I think November 11th, but it's already booked again. So come on out. We got some great people coming for this upcoming year. But what shocked me the most was how each one of these people during breaks didn't have a line 25 people deep.
Yeah, that's a shame. And some folks are intimidated to go, which I get. But
sure, of course.
If you're listening to this and you go to LAL next year, go talk to these people.
Or Quip Expo.
Yeah.
Or wherever your next thing.
100%. Right.
Like, dude, chase those people down. Yeah. Buy them dinner. Like, hey, where are you going after this? Oh, I'm just going to go back to the room. Hey, would you like to go get some dinner? Like, dude, on me. Like, and they might say no, and they're tired, and they might say, yeah, sure, I got nothing going on. But I would say some people treat a feast like a crumb. Some people treat a crumb like a feast. And it's like, dude, don't discredit those opportunities that come your way. It's wild. So anyway, that's our Fun Friday show for you guys. That's all I really got. No agenda here. We're just kind of hanging out. But anything else you guys got? Where can they find you guys on Instagram and YouTube or whatever? Because maybe they don't know you, maybe they don't know you.
All channels, Auman Landscape LLC. That's where we're at.
Key Contractor Podcast.
Oh, and that too. Yes, we're doing that too.
It's a great show. Yeah.
Growing Great Landscapes on socials and the same on podcast.
Dude, check out Jeremiah Jennings, and we've been running some ads on your guys' show too, man. So I believe in what you're doing, dude. It's reaching a whole.
Still waiting on that Hardscape Academy money to come through, but I don't know. They said the check was in the mail.
Something about that. It's a little. It's got some elasticity value, I think, Caleb. What's going on over there? But anyway,
I was.
Means the check bounced.
My brain was. It's bouncing. My brain was scorched trying to think of a really good comeback. But, I ran out of steam other than just like.
I'm shocked he just didn't
saying
start using
really
harsh words. Yeah,
well,
that's what he normally does.
All I had was something
dumb. And then it's physical violence.
Yeah. All I had was something really mean to say. I'm like, I'm not gonna say that. It's beyond joking at that point. So.
Just wait till the
By the way, check out their shows. Maybe we'll do some extra shows here, poolside, and then we're gonna go do dinner. But we totally didn't even talk about the golf game.
Oh my gosh.
We golfed. It was amazing. Well, I don't even know if you call golf. We went to a place that does golf. We participated.
We went to a golf course.
Yeah, we did something maybe like golf, but
drove a golf cart around.
I said this was a really expensive go-kart track day.
Yeah,
I said because I didn't do anything about that. Would be anything in the galaxy of
Almost
golf.
took out a Beamer.
You did.
Yeah. Well.
If all people today expected to do that, it was not Jeremiah.
Which is wild. That's my territory. I was getting shown up. It's like, hey, that's my play. I'm writing him checks for ads for his show. He's going to write insurance checks to the insurance company. I'm like, do you want to run this thing for profit or what? Can you imagine going home to Savannah? Hey, I did a thing. Need $1,000. What'd you do? You were only gone for 2 hours. I know.
Need some deductible money. Yeah.
All right. Any which way, we're buying this thing up. Appreciate you guys listening in. And don't forget that the plus sign in the top right corner, guys, if you want to follow along. Get all the new episodes downloaded to your show, to your phone, I should say, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And again, thanks to you for listening. And thanks for the support. Thanks for checking things out. And guys, we'll be back here on Monday. Thanks again for listening. See ya.
New program alert. The How to Get New Lawn Care Customers training program is now available. If you guys have ever struggled at acquiring new customers or are looking to grow your lawn care business, then this new program might just be for you. Looking to learn the best tactics to develop a successful postcard marketing campaign? We got you covered. Have you ever wondered how to use social media to exponentially grow your business and dominate the competition? We got that too. Whether you're just getting started in business or you're a seasoned vet, there's something for everyone in this new program available now, exclusively at L'Entrepreneuracademy.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.